You want to be taken seriously? Stop dressing like a little girl.
Two women, same office, same era, but completely opposite strategies for survival. One weaponized her femininity, the other rejected it entirely, and only one of them saw it coming that neither path would be enough. This is the story of how Mad Men showed us that in a world built by men, women don't win by playing the game. They survive by rewriting the rules entirely. Today we're breaking down the two most fascinating female characters in Mad Men, Peggy Olson and Joan Holloway. On the surface, they seem like opposites. Joan, the bombshell office manager who knows exactly how powerful her curves are.
I want to stand and salute that.
Peggy, the mousy secretary from Brooklyn who just wants to write copy. But here's what makes this so brilliant. Both women are playing the only hands they were dealt in 1960, and by the end of the series, both realized they were playing a rigged game. Stick around, because we're going to explore how these two characters represent every woman's impossible choice in a patriarchal system, and why the show's final season reveals that neither strategy actually works. Let's start with how we meet them. Joan Holloway enters like she owns the place. The camera literally follows her hips as she walks. Every man stops and stares. Joan knows this. She's weaponized it.
Go home, take a paper bag, and cut some eye holes out of it. Put it over your head, get undressed, and look at yourself in the mirror.
She's teaching Peggy the currency of their world. Beauty equals power. Joan has climbed as high as a woman can go in 1960. Office manager. She's indispensable, but invisible where it counts. No seat at the partner's table, no creative input, just the woman who makes sure the men have what they need. Then there's Peggy. When we first meet her, she's offering her hand to Don Draper, and the implication is clear. She thinks this is what secretaries do. She thinks this is the price of admission. But Don rejects her, and that rejection, it saves her career. Because while Joan has spent years learning how to be desired, Peggy accidentally stumbles into being respected for her mind, not her body. Here's the truth that Mad Men is building toward for 7 seasons. Both strategies fail. Joan uses her sexuality to gain influence, and it works, until it doesn't. She becomes a partner by sleeping with a client, and even though she's brilliant at business, she'll always be the one who slept her way to the top. Peggy rejects femininity entirely. She dresses like a man, talks like a man, and works like a man, and she becomes the first female copywriter at Sterling Cooper. But even then, she's always fighting to be seen as Don's equal, never quite escaping his shadow. The brilliance of Mad Men is showing us that the system itself is broken. It doesn't matter which path you choose when both roads lead to the same place, a world where men hold all the cards. So the real question isn't who made the right choice, it's can women ever win in a game designed for them to lose? Let's trace how both women navigate Sterling Cooper. Peggy's path. Peggy discovers she has creative talent.
Here's your basket of kisses.
Basket of kisses. That's cute.
Freddie Rumsen sees it, Don sees it, and suddenly Peggy has value beyond her looks. But here's the cost. Peggy gets pregnant by Pete Campbell and doesn't even realize it.
I could have had you. I could have shamed you into being with me. But I didn't want to.
This is Peggy rejecting the path Joan has always endorsed. Marriage, motherhood, being someone's wife. She gives up her child to chase a career. It's brutal, it's painful, but it's her choice. Joan's path. Joan is doing the work of a television director, reading scripts, managing talent, but when the agency creates the role officially...
Joan, this is Danny Lindstrom.
Dan.
He's going to be in charge of broadcast operations.
Excuse me?
Watch Joan's face here. She knows. She's always known. Her competence doesn't matter. Only her gender does. So Joan doubles down on the only power she has, being desired. She has an affair with Roger Sterling. She marries Dr. Greg Harris, a handsome surgeon who she thinks will give her the life she wants. But Greg is a monster. This scene is devastating. Greg rapes Joan on Don's office floor, and she still marries him. Why? Because Joan believes in the system. She believes if she just plays the game correctly, she'll get her happy ending. When the agency is rebuilt as Sterling Cooper Draper Price, both women are brought along. This is the false hope moment. Maybe things will be different now. For Peggy, it is. She's promoted to copywriter, officially, given raises, given respect. But even here, she's still fighting. The Glow Coat campaign. Peggy contributed, but Don takes all the credit. When she demands recognition, Don snaps,
I give you money, you give me ideas.
And you never say thank you.
That's what the money is for.
This is Peggy's breaking point. She realizes working twice as hard still isn't enough. For Joan, nothing changes. She gets pregnant, but it's Roger's baby, not her husband's. Greg is in Vietnam. Joan could tell the truth. She keeps the baby and the lie because she believes in the fairy tale, the husband, the child, the perfect life. The cost of power. Here's where everything breaks. The agency has a shot at landing Jaguar, a huge account, but the Jaguar dealer, Herb Rennet, wants Joan. He'll only sign if she sleeps with him. The partners debate. Pete argues for it. Roger is indifferent. Don says no, but too late. Joan agrees, in exchange for 5% partnership. She's made her choice. She's securing her future, but the price is her dignity. And here's the tragedy. Even after becoming partner, Joan is never fully respected. The men always see her as the one who slept with Herb.
I'm sorry my accomplishments happened in broad daylight, and I can't be given the same rewards.
What is that supposed to mean?
You know damn well.
Meanwhile, Peggy is leaving Sterling Cooper Draper Price for a competitor. This is huge. Peggy is betting on herself. She's rejecting Don's mentorship to become her own person. But even at her new agency, she faces the same obstacles. Her new boss, Ted Chow, respects her, but she's still fighting for every inch of credibility. By the final season, both women have climbed as high as they can go, and both realize the same truth. The system will never change. Peggy's realization. Even though Peggy creates the Burger Chef pitch, the clients want Don to present it because he's a man. But then Don does something radical. He lets Peggy present. This is Peggy's moment. She's not trying to be Don anymore. She's being herself. She's done it her way. And Don finally sees her as an equal. Joan's liberation. Joan's journey is harder.
Art listed off accounts for everyone but me. Well, we both know they're never going to take me seriously over there.
Even as a partner, she's still second class. So Joan does what Peggy did years earlier. She quits. She takes her buyout, 50 cents on the dollar, a deliberate metaphor for the wage gap, and starts her own production company, Holloway Harris. Two names make it sound more real. Now, you might be thinking, didn't Joan compromise herself by sleeping with Herb? Doesn't that make her weak? No, it makes her pragmatic. Joan did what she had to do in a world with no other options. She used her only leverage, and yes, it cost her, but she turned it into power. Peggy's path seems cleaner, but she sacrificed just as much. She gave up her child. She gave up romance. She gave up a personal life to chase success. Neither woman is right or wrong. Both are survivors. The real villain isn't Joan or Peggy. It's the system that forced them to choose. Let's talk symbolism. Joan is the old guard. Red hair, red lips, red dress. Marilyn Monroe comparisons. Represents 1950s femininity weaponized. Peggy is the future. Conservative clothes, minimal makeup, represents 1970s feminism emerging. But here's the brilliance. By the end, they've switched. Joan, who always relied on men, becomes an independent businesswoman. Peggy, who rejected femininity, embraces it. She dates, falls in love with Stan, and she doesn't have to sacrifice her career for it. Peggy gets the romance Joan always wanted. Joan gets the independence Peggy always had. They've learned from each other. So what does it all mean? Peggy and Joan represent two strategies for surviving patriarchy. Joan played the game and lost herself. Peggy rejected the game and lost connection. But by the end, both women realized the same truth. You can't win by their rules. You have to make your own. Joan starts her own company. Peggy falls in love without giving up her career. Both women rewrite the script. And that's the genius of Mad Men. It doesn't give us easy answers. It says, the system is broken. Fix it yourself. If you made it this far, drop a comment. Team Joan or Team Peggy? And if you want more deep dives into TV's most complex characters, hit subscribe because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching. Now go rewrite your own rules.